Hey, welcome back. We're doing another episode of Rate My Base. I'm going to go quickly overview of the king. Nothing really special here. He has gloves here that had added normal boost. Nothing else. The spells. Hammer Strike. You can see we don't have Blade Storm unlocked yet, or Sonic Blast. And then we'll go over here and look at the troops real quick. So in this series, we attack opponents' bases that want to be attacked and recorded, and we also don't use any scrolls, or if we die, that's it. I try and come up with the best strategy just based on the mini-map. I've never attacked these opponents before, so it's all brand new. So we're going to go and attack this person right here. I give my thoughts on the road design and the troop and tower design in the mini-map based on what it could mean and how the battle could go. So in here we're going to get a sizable amount of loot, but it's a very, very tough opponent. Whenever you see some odd trophies that are like 30 plus and like the medals are this high, it means he's way stronger than you. So we don't expect to get near his gate at all. We'd probably consider it a very good victory if we can get over here and clear off like this whole section, because he is very, very strong. So this is going to be a uphill battle. A lot of paladins, a lot of pyromancers, a few frosters, which I'm not sure why people like to throw frosters into the mix. They die in one sword rain, regardless of what level they are. They do cause a slow effect, but most often they're going to die in a sword rain before they get their slow effect off. So to me, frosters in the defense are pretty much worthless. And then a couple mortars, which is good, and a few art blasters here. Towers, he has a lot of bomb towers, and then firebolts and gargoyle towers. So my last attack, I used this setup right here. I used the mortar, pyromancer, and the knight. We did fairly well against a higher ranking opponent as well, someone that was around 2,400 trophies. This one is a lot higher, 2,600. We'll probably keep the mortar in there because I've found the mortar does really well in these big, bottleneck situations where you're stuck over here and your mortar can actually do a lot of splash damage to all the troops that are coming out. Unfortunately, he has pyromancers, a good amount of them, so the mortar will probably die fairly quickly to the pyromancers. But there's nothing we can do about that because our hero is going to be fighting his way over. And he does have some ranged troop as well, some art blasters that will also pound them. So we're probably going to have to use a couple mortars. And you don't want to use the mortar right in the beginning because the mortar only targets targets troops. It doesn't target buildings. So at first, if you use it, it's just going to run up to this barrier right here and just sit there and kind of like wait for troops to come. So then now the debate is we're going to keep Hammer Strike, Firestorm, and Sword Rain. I have a feeling that his troops will be stronger. His pyromancers, at least, will be strong enough to survive one sword rain. So that could be really, really problematic for us. And otherwise, I think I'm going to go this time with paladins as my troop setup. And since I don't feel like we're going to get very far, actually I'm going to change up the Hammer Strike a little. And I'm going to go with the heal spell, even though it's very, very weak. It's only 600 and some odd heal. It does take away all the burn effects. I found that using heal is a fairly good spell in the end game once you actually level it up quite a bit. So we're going to go like this. So our DPS is going to suffer quite a bit because we don't have Knights or Hammer Strike. But we're going to have to make do because in order to kind of make up for our DPS loss, we're going to go with cannons instead of pyromancers. We're going to go like this. We're going to put cannons in the beginning so they can shoot back and destroy the barrier here. And then hopefully we'll see what wave comes out and we'll be able to kill most of it with the sword rain. And then we'll bring out a mortar to go in there. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and try and do it right now. Hopefully he's not online. Available. This is good. So bring out two cannons first. Gonna save my firestorm for the troops. I'm gonna bring out 2 paladins there. So there's the first wave of troops. Gonna bring out a mortar now. I'm waiting for his second wave of troops to come up here so I can sword rain and hopefully kill most. Yeah, I can't kill the pyromancers in one hit, which is very bad. Thankfully, the mortar and the cannon are staying back in the corner there, and I'm able to go up more so with the paladins that I have and prevent them from taking some fire damage. So you can see all the ranged troops there moved up. I'm going to call the troops over now so they can come over here closer, especially my cannons, because I want to try and keep my cannons alive. If the cannons can stay alive, we can do a good amount of damage. And as long as the pyromancers in the corner there sit back and attack all my paladins that are coming up, which they're doing, they should get stuck in that corner. I'm able to heal that cannon a little bit. The slow effect is actually working out fairly well for him. Constantly just bringing out more paladins now. I have to run back and heal, otherwise I am going to die. So I'm going to call my troops back here to slowly build up an army. So his Froster is actually working out for him in this situation. We see that Froster died right there. We might be able to get past this corner once my sword rain, the sword rain came up. So now I have a firestorm available. The sword rain came back up. So if we can take out, should be able to take out this firebolt cannon up here with one firestorm, and that'll get us a little bit more money. Every tower you destroy, you'll get more money. So we did clear about half of the section, like pretty much what I was hoping for. That's probably as good as you're going to get against someone that strong. So in all, it'll probably be like 25%. So we got 32%. And you see the game set, we did a fairly good job. We only lost 2 trophies, so we're very close to actually gaining trophies. Gained an okay amount, 67,000. But you can see the higher amount of trophies that they're giving and the higher amount of medals means it's extremely hard to fight. And we almost died there several times. It took a lot of thinking and planning, and that's probably the best that you could hope for against someone that strong. So when you go into the attack here and you see someone this strong and this many medals, you either have to plan to use scrolls to get past him, or that you're not going to get very far. If you plan to use scrolls, his vase is actually very vulnerable to Apocalypse Scroll over here, since most of his stuff is clumped up here. So we could have gotten fairly far, I believe, if we got up to this right here, this barrier, and then using Apocalypse Scroll. It would have taken out most of these buildings, would have left probably the ones in the corner alive, and it would have taken out most of the troops as well. So that probably would have allowed us to get up to around here or so with just one scroll. If we used maybe 2 or 3 scrolls, we might have been able to beat the base. So you're looking at spending 20 or so gems, 30 or so gems to have a chance to beat the base, which for this amount of gold, not worth it. But if you're looking for trophies, this is a good amount of trophies. So spending 20 gems for 40 trophies might be worth it, and you do get some nice medals out of it. That's the only thing. I would change out the Frosters. I really don't think they're that good. It did slow us down some, but having more just DPS there, having more R-blasters, that probably would have been able to kill my king rather than just having him slow down, because the Froster does like no damage. So having more arrows shot at the king, which the R-blasters do approximately 300 to 360 damage depending on what level they are, And the king doesn't have a stat that shows if he's resistant, but I'm almost positive he's resistant to arrows by like 50%. So that means the Arblaster does around 200 damage a shot to the king. And we only have like 5,000 or so life. So if you have a couple Arblasters in a group, in a wave, and they're all pounding on the king, you'll notice that the king's life goes down really, really quick. And it's a really effective way to kill a king. Going up higher, people will be swapping out Sword Rain for like Sonic Blast and Blade Storm, so you won't be fighting people that will be using a lot of Sword Rains, which means your ranged troops are going to be alive a lot more. But for this stage, you know, probably almost every opponent that comes across you is going to be using Sword Rain, but the base is very, very solid. We didn't get that far. We got to right around here. Didn't notice anything, bad with the tower placements. The placements of those were very good, and the barriers were in good placements as well. So all this is a very, very good base. We tried our hardest and we got 30 some odd percent. We said we are a little bit weak. So overall, like I said, I'll probably give this a 9 out of 10. I don't like the Frosters, but that's me. And I would recommend trying different ranged troops there, either trying more Arblasters or even Archers. Archers can be really, really effective because they're really cheap. They're 2 unit costs, and they do about the same amount of damage as the Arblaster. The only downside is that they don't have as big of range. But yeah, it's the same thing. When you have a bunch of Archers or Arblasters together, they just test it out against yourself. They'll pound away your hero. If you have 5 Archers attacking your hero is going to die pretty quickly, especially if they're hidden behind a barrier or behind the road over here. So like if your hero's here and the Archers are here or the Arblasters and they're pounding on him, your hero's life is going to drop really, really quick. So yeah, so give that a try, test that out, attack yourself, and look and see how well the ranged troops, the Archers and the Arblasters, do against the hero. Alright, so great job there. Like I said, a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't change anything except for the Frosters. That's my only, advice on that. Love the placement of the towers up there. Oops. So thanks for watching.